All right. It is, excuse me, episode 79. Maybe the last one. We'll see. We'll probably do one tomorrow. We could do one for until Monday when we start the new job. We'll talk a little Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Couldn't find it. I want to sound bitter with what I say, but what do I care? I drove 15 hours yesterday. Shocking. All right, so the big news, I kind of alluded to it, if you know, been in Louisville for the past few days trying to find a place to live. I'm moving on. I'm out of here tomorrow or Friday. I've accepted a job with the Jim Beam Distillery. I'll be a tour guide for now. Hopefully that will turn into more shortly. I gave the broadcasting thing a ride. I was in the minor leagues for 13 years. I did sports talk for a decade, and it just didn't work out for me to make it a career for whatever reason. There are sales, not my thing. As it turns out, worked for some good people, learned a lot, that's for sure. And again, the story of being really afraid to get into corporate radio was back into corporate radio was realized when I had a job offer and it was withdrawn. So if you're on the Bourbon Trail, which a buddy of mine already from Key Largo is coming up this weekend, come see me in Jim Beam. It's a good tour. I did it 75 minutes. You got 4 tastings, and we have other tours as well. I just did one. I think I'm going to do them all over the next week or so. I'll still do for the foreseeable future Lockdown Sunbelt. Didn't get the chance to do one last night. I woke up, worked out, showered, got in the car, was home, and went to bed. Again, I'm shocked that I drove 15 hours yesterday. I'm doing that right. I left at 7:30. I would have got home. It would have been 10:30. It was 9:30 because of the hour change. I have not driven that long in a long time. When I started, I was after I filled up with gas and maybe Starbucks. Arrival was at 6:30. There was a major accident outside of Memphis, and I had to go around, which was fine. And I was still in Mississippi. I don't know what town it was. Gorgeous houses. Gorgeous. And then got to Jackson. Another accident, not me. Got off, went around that, missed the turn to go back to the highway, literally crossed the train tracks. And it was sad. I don't know if it was a, dangerous neighborhood by any stretch of imagination, but it was a poor neighborhood. It was just sad. Nonetheless, got home, turned on the All-Star Game, and that was another thing. Anybody try listening to the All-Star Game last night? Why on Sirius X? First of all, I couldn't find an ESPN affiliate on the radio. Second of all, ESPN satellite was playing Adam Schefter on a podcast. Now, why I changed the channel from MLB Network to ESPN and started searching, I don't know. But I ended up going back to MLB Network. They had the ball game. It was Carl Ravitch, Doug Glanville. I didn't hear a whole lot of Timmy Kirkshin and Buster Olney. And again, because I didn't make it, this is going to sound bitter, but boy, Carl Ravitch struggles with the play-by-play. How do you mess up an RBI single? And he did. Someone is a big fan of Carl Ravitch. You could get, Tom Hart would have done a better job. I think Roxy Bernstein would have done a better job. Boog Sciambi would have done a better job. Kurt Bloom would have done a better job. Josh Wetzel would have done a better job. Now there is something a little bit different, right? That I haven't had to deal with is that pitch count. or the pitch clock. And boy, Glanville's got to get in and out faster. That's a tough spot. And I'm all for, conversation during a game, but boy, during an All-Star game, that's tough to do. I mean, they were talking about, they went on for more than a little bit about Glanville getting into a couple of fights, not, bench clearing brawls, if you will. That's a tough spot to do that during All-Star. You don't have a whole lot of time to, go off on a tangent. This is not, the dog days of summer. The game started at 7:20 Central Time. Was it over by 9:30? I got home at 9:30. It was done before 10. That game was less than 2.5 hours. You don't have to go off on a tangent like it's a 9-5, 9-2 ball game in the middle of July. So that was disappointing. And it just sounds, again, he's a great Sports Center anchor, and obviously he's been doing this a long time. It sounds like Carl Ravitch is reading from a script. That's the way he broadcasts baseball games. I don't know. That's my 2 cents. Nobody cares. He made it. I didn't. It is what it is. All right. So we're going to Louisville. I'll see if they need help up there. That's not, maybe make a few extra bucks on the side. I'm working weekends, so you can't really fill in on the weekends. But I work 5 days a week, 8 to 5, all the weekends. Tuesday I get off, and then another day I get off, whatever that may be. I'm all for working overtime because I'm going to need it. Looking for a place is proving to be difficult. The reason I drove up to Louisville was, to look for a place, and maybe is drop off the bourbon. I packed up 110 bottles of bourbon in my car and put them in my brother's basement. That's why I went up there. I only have 2 boxes left. Well, 1 box left, and I'm giving 1 box away. So, yeah. So mostly in my car, it's going to be clothes, maybe my stereo, which the speakers are going to go in the movers thing, but maybe I'll take my stereo and put it in my backseat. But it's just suitcases and, clothes and stuff that I need for me. I don't need much, maybe take the lights, but that's about it. And finding a place to live is proving difficult. My brother lives 45 minutes away. So it's going to be a little bit of commute. I have a really good relationship with my brother, I think. And my sister-in-law, I'd rather not ruin that. Although they do have to get used to being empty nesters. Their son is off to a 2-week college prep course. And my sister-in-law is, I don't want to say stir crazy, but, she mentioned she was bored on Monday. So, maybe, and he's not coming back until next Friday. So maybe I'll be the comic relief for a bit. But, do I find a place in Bardstown? Shepherdsville is about 10 minutes away. The south side of Louisville is 25 minutes away, which is fine, right? I've done a 20-minute commute. If I live near downtown-ish, that'll save 10 minutes. That'll be about 30 minutes. If I live out east, that's another 15 minutes. So we'll see. I have some social media friends that live up there, and looking for a place to live. So if you know of a place, let me know. And actually, Elon needs to make more money because he doesn't have enough. So he's charging now to be on to do live feeds on Twitter. So maybe I'll, can I put the link up from YouTube on here? But a friend of mine who I've known in baseball for many years, our paths have crossed one way or the other. We ended up at the winter meetings together. I think he had the internship in Wichita the year before I did. So we've known each other since like 92. And he saw my Schultze cast and actually watched some of it on LinkedIn. And he's like, hey, I may know some people in the Louisville area. So they reached out to me yesterday. And so we'll see if we can get some. The movers are going to be an issue. Hopefully they're coming tomorrow is the plan. They asked if they could come on the 20th, and I said no, because that's Saturday, and I didn't want to risk, driving all day Sunday and not getting to my brother's place, because I got to get up and work on Monday morning. I start Monday. I do have a day off on Tuesday. So the movers are supposed to come tomorrow. I don't even care if they come on. If they come on Friday, at least it's early. If it's early, well, even if it's Friday, I can drive up Saturday. And, depending on when we finish. Last time, it took 3 people plus me 5 hours. I have only a couple more things, but nothing's packed. So they're going to pack everything. That took 5 hours with about a 1 hour break in there. So we'll see how that goes. Because I could go back. I'm not know if I could drive to Memphis, but I could drive to Hammond. Could drive to Jackson, all right, and stay there. And then it's an easy. Jackson would be about an 8-hour drive to Louisville, so that wouldn't be bad. So depending on what time, if it's late, even if it's like 6, I could drive to Hammond, get a hotel room there, and then that knocks off 2 hours. So we'll see. All right. So news. What happened yesterday? Brian Maggard gets a nice extension. Let's see. Sully got the email from Sully. Somehow my email is working again, I guess. Let's see. Anybody else having email issues? Because I am absolutely having email issues. Let me see. View. No, date. All right, let's see here. Sully sent one. He did. Oh, come on. It was yesterday, wasn't it? Where'd it go? Matt Sullivan. Yeah, so again, I don't understand. Is it in here? No. How technology works and how it doesn't. Okay, there it is. Okay. Louisiana announces contract extension for Vice President of Intercollegiate Athletics, Brian Maggard. Agreed to an extension through 2029. Now, I'm the guy who, Missouri opened up, some other places opened up, wondered if he was going. He's now seeing this through. He'll be here over 10 years, approximately thereof, right? He would have started in 17, if memory serves. He would have started in 17. Let me see. Yes, Maggard, who joined the Cajuns in 2017. And they're getting the stadium done. I really do hope people come out for the stadium, right? It's not so much about the 25 season. It's really about the 26 season, right? Because it's going to be sad. It's just going to be sad. It's not going to be disappointing. It's just going to be sad that if they get the same 10 to 15,000 people, right? So people complained when I called out Cajuns fans that they weren't showing up to a team that was winning 16 in a row, and it's midweek and it's the SWAC. There's weather. I got a bunch of excuses. Some are reasons. But the stadium did not attract new people to the park. The same people who are coming before the baseball stadium was built are the ones coming now. It wasn't if you build it, they will come. It's the same people. They can tell me what the attendance was or paid attendance. Well, who's all these people that are paying and not going? So it's really about 2,500 showing up on a rather regular basis. All right. And so the Cajuns just have not drawn. Boys, since pre-COVID, right? Almost since, the four-peat, if you will, to the New Orleans Bowl with HUD. Again, I showed up here in 13, and, I was poo-pooing the 25 to 28,000, and that was legit because there were a bunch of people in the upper deck. The far side was full for the most part. Lower was full, and people were in the upper deck. I'm like, well, football's religion. Why don't we have 40,000? And then I realized It's the Cajuns. It's LSU. You know, it used to be Cajuns fans at 6 o'clock would leave at halftime to go watch LSU and the Cajuns if they could, or listen to the Cajuns, watch LSU in the parking lot. Now they just don't come. You know, hopefully it does, because the stadium looks like it's going to be great. Wishing everybody the best of luck. I mean, the as Group of 5 programs go, right? We'll see what Bob does. We'll see what Allison Habits does. Degg seems to have it going in the right direction, although, I mean, he said it, not me, that Kyle DeBarge is going to go down in the annals of one of the all-time greats. I mean, I know what he was trying to say. I know what he did say. So Deggs has it going in the right direction. Volleyball is kind of a new thing all of a sudden. And they're just positioned well. Got to get people to come back to basketball. Again, I am still confused on what happened. We went from a team that went to the NCAA tournament to not showing up. And, you know, now a couple people left. We'll see how that works out. You know, more than, you know, a good chunk of, you know, good players left. We'll see how that works out next year. And they brought in a bunch of good players. And one guy who came in left because maybe he was going to be squeezed out of playing time. So is that, you know, they're just as positioned as, you know, JMU. JMU has this great stadium, and the guy who goes around with the stadium, you know, videos, he went to JMU. He's like, this looks outstanding. And then pans to the other side, and even JMU fans are like, yeah, that looks like high school or Division III. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to build, and it's like, okay, build it so there is still demand, right? You probably don't need a 45,000 seat stadium. Build it to where it's 30 or 35, or maybe to where what South Alabama did, to where you can expand it later on. South Alabama hasn't needed that yet, but they have that option should the time ever come. You want to create that demand, which is what the Cajuns did not do with the baseball stadium. Now they are severely cutting back on, you know, the football stadium attendance and capacity, I should say. And, you know, that'll look good, you know, instead of, you know, 15,000 on what looks to be like a 40,000 seat stadium, and you get 15,000 in a 30,000 seat stadium, it looks better. Just like, you know, if you had, you know, when you do 2,500 to 3,000 in a 6,000 seat stadium, doesn't look as good. If that stadium was 4,000 or 4,500, it would look much better. Perception, anyways. Doesn't mean you're drawing anymore, but it would just look better. All right, Major League Baseball All-Star Game again. Had difficulty finding it last night. I mean, I will give Carl Ravitch credit. He did say, this is a tough spot on a 2-0 pitch to Ohtani, and then boom, 3-run home run. That was a good call. I'll give him that. I thought Glanville is like, I thought he was going to say, be careful. And then, was it Tanner Houck? And I gave up that. Jared Durant came back and gave the American League the lead. I guess everyone's talking about the uniforms. And again, you know, I don't mind saying, as excited as I am, and I'm nervous. Maybe that's why I didn't sleep. I didn't feel I was nervous. I just wasn't tired, right? Like, I'm tired now. Like, I drove the 15 hours yesterday, basically went right to sleep, up all night. I got up at 3 a.m., 3:30. I was like, all right, I'm up. Been watching Presumed Innocence, which is a remake, right, on Apple TV. So I was watching that. I'll get to Orange Theory later. I got to go to the bank, got to go to Walmart. And I'm going to see if I can get back to the foot doctor here before I leave. But I've been up for a while. So I'll be tired later on, maybe after Orange Theory, but I do have to pack, at least get something going. We don't want this to be an all-day deal tomorrow. But the All-Star Game, I guess the uniforms were, the point is I was, you know, everybody, so many of the people at SEC Media Days, of course, went to the All-Star Game, whether, you know, it was my guy Heath Klein or Peter Burns, Alyssa Lang, Ryan McGee was there. They just, they didn't get credentialed, although I'm sure Peter Burns may have had connections for tickets, perhaps. I'm sure they just used something like the Game Time app to get tickets to go. A lot of people went. So my guy, Kevin Trainer, somebody I've known since 1992, one of the, I think associate ADs with Arkansas. Just a confluence of perfect timing that the All-Star Game and SEC Media Days were in the same city at the same time. So I'm absolutely missing it. Still watching Moscona. He got a few players yesterday. He got Dari Noka. He got some players. He gets a bunch of guests. He had Greg Sankey on. Doesn't get the coaches. I always wondered that. So, he just does such a good job. He's really good. He's really good at what he does. Listening to, I think it's Doring and Jacob Hester on SEC XM in the mornings. I think they replay the entire show because I think I heard Kirby Smart a second time. So it is a little sad, a little disappointing. Wish I was there. I'm not gonna make any bones about it. But we're starting something brand new, and we're looking forward to it. I'll have a lot to learn. They did give me some books to read, which I just have not had the chance to do so. All the driving around, driving back and forth. I got back, and after dinner on Monday, we're watching Jeopardy, my brother and sister-in-law, and I passed right out. I'm not even sure that was at 7:30. Maybe it was at 7:30. Yeah, I passed right out. So I just have not had a chance to read the books. I have had the chance to read. They gave me a pamphlet, which is basically the tour. So I think I'm going to start giving tours, next weekend. We better be ready. I don't think it'll be a problem. I have to get it. I'm a visual guy, so I have to understand it in my mind before I can tell other people about it. So, basically you're making beer and then heating it up, and you get the vapors from that and you cool it off. So I think that's basically it. All right. It is, doing this almost 23 minutes. So again, unbelievable that someone saw me. We're not on Twitter anymore, but still on Facebook, went to LinkedIn, and on YouTube. We'll see if we can post the link from YouTube onto Twitter. All right. Not sure if there was an announcement. We just all found out we couldn't be on it on Monday. Now, we went to LinkedIn, and maybe I found a house because I went on LinkedIn. You never know. And it's nice when you get, a friend from, again, I've known Ken reach out to me. Our paths crossed, in 2004. I mean, we met each other in Wichita, Kansas. I think maybe he came out to visit me in High Desert. He was out in the Cal League. He was the general manager of Lake Elsinore. He worked for the Akron team for a bit. And it's always nice when people reach out and, he's like, hey, I may know somebody who lives there. I got a text message. We'll see when we get a call from them today. All right. I do have to do a Lockdown Sunbelt. We'll do ULM. I know that thrills Cajuns fans, but we got to do one. I just was not going to do one last night, although the way it worked out, maybe I would have been better off to do. Let me see if there was anything else I wanted to get at. Again, I think it's going to be great that Brian Maggard is going to be here for over a decade. He's really going to see this through. All right. Yeah, that's it. All right. And again, driving 15, I never thought I'd drive 15 hours. I think the first accident, I was about an hour before I realized I had to get around it. And then the one in Jackson didn't take very long. That was just me actually not paying attention. But I made a bunch of stops. And again, twice I had to go I don't know if it's just me getting older. Usually there's a warning when you have to go to the bathroom. I had to go immediately twice. Ran into a McDonald's and then a truck stop. This place was as busy as I've ever seen any truck stop. There was a construction site right next to it. And again, in the middle of nowhere. I don't know where. I said there was this accident outside of Memphis. So this must have been about 20 minutes further east. So further away from Memphis. And again, felt like it was in the middle of nowhere. And this place was packed. There was a construction site next to it. You had to wait in line for gas. And because I got gas before my tank was empty, I had to stop for gas just after I got on I-12. But I called my mother and brother because it was about 8 o'clock. And I said, hey, I'm going to make it home. I only got about an hour and a half to go. And I don't want to wake up at 10. So we were doing pretty good. And we'll start to pack a little bit now. We'll do a Locked On Sunbelt episode coming up. I think more guys were drafted. We'll have to see. I was not really on Twitter yesterday. All right, so that's about it. Again, if you guys, find yourself on the Bourbon Trail, please look me up. I will be at the Jim Beam Distillery. There is like a 90th birthday celebration since Prohibition. So that's coming up in August. There is the Bourbon Festival in Bardstown in September. And then there's Bourbon and Beyond. It's like a Bourbon and Music Fest in Louisville, like the following weekend. So there's not a little bit going on. And then in less than a month, my guy, Buddy Guy, is coming. So that'll be fun to see him one last time. That's a heck of a birthday present. Let's see if I got this. This was a 50th birthday present from the other brother. That's a Buddy Guy ticket signed by Buddy Guy. How about that? That's pretty cool. So I'm really excited to see him. I don't know how to do this though. How do you, I got an autograph on the back of something. How do you show that off? Make a color copy of that. And then, I don't know how to do that. Oh, well. All right, let me get to the Locked On Sunbelt episode. We can do one. I'll be able to do one tonight and tomorrow, and then I'm good for the week, right? Because we did one Sunday, Monday. We did one for Tuesday. And again, I'm one of those guys, technology-wise, I don't know why. The issue finding a place also, Bardstown is out in the country. That's about 20 minutes southeast of where the distillery is, and they don't have the strongest Wi-Fi. And Monday, all day, I was looking to upload the podcast that I did on Sunday night. I had to go to the U of L library. Is that ironic? That's ironic. For the podcast, just to load it up. And, we're talking like 10 megabytes. Like I can find out what my speed is here. I'm sure this is all thrilling. But I get, when it's working properly, I think I get like 300 on the upload. And of course, it's not working properly. Let's see. So on the download, we're over 400, 450. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. That doesn't matter to me. I'm not a gamer. I don't worry about that. The upload is the deal. And this is also, approaching 350, 340. That's fast. So it only takes a couple of minutes for it to upload. And my brother's right. But just because it's slow doesn't mean it shouldn't be able to do it. Well, again, Sunday it didn't work. Monday night it did. All right. The radio uploaded in about, which should take 10 seconds. It uploaded in about 3 minutes, and the video uploaded in about 10. So I don't care if it takes that. I just can't sit there when I'm ready to go to bed and have it take 2 hours or not do it at all. That's not going to work. And again, I sit here sometimes and it doesn't work. So I can't roll the dice. That's why I may be heading. I wanted to be in Louisville, and then I was like, all right, maybe Shepherdsville. or Bardstown. If I can get a place in Bardstown where I can get the fiber, I'm happy to do it. So we'll find out about that today. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to try and see if I can link the YouTube thing here. Coming up. We'll put that on Twitter. See if we can do that work around there, Elon. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it, guys. All right. Everybody take care. And again, come see me in Kentucky.